The wind crawled low across the red earth as Tala, the widowed Apache woman, guided her old paint mare through the desolate mesa that had once echoed with the laughter of her husband and son. Now only silence followed her. The land remembered their footsteps even when she tried not to. The small bundle of herbs she carried against her chest was the last offering she needed to place at their resting place. But the sun was sinking, and with it came memories sharp enough to draw blood. She urged the mare forward, until a sudden shadow detached itself from the horizon. A tall silhouette, broad shoulders, wide hat, a stranger. Instinct tightened her hand around the woven handle of her knife. Cowboys rarely brought anything good. As she rode closer, his features sharpened, a rugged jaw dusted with sand, pale eyes framed by exhaustion, and hands that lay open on either side as if to show he carried no threat. "Evening," he said with a voice that felt too soft for a man who looked carved from desert stone. "You're far out from any road." Tala held her chin high. "I know where I am." The cowboy nodded once, as though he respected that more than any explanation. His stallion pawed the ground, restless. "Storm's coming," he added. "You shouldn't be alone out here." She bristled. Apache women had survived storms long before cowboys even existed. "I'm returning to my family," she said, motioning toward the ridge. "I don't need help." The cowboy's gaze flicked toward the direction she pointed, and something in his eyes shifted, something like pain. "No one should have to ride to a grave alone," he murmured. The words slipped under her defenses, but she ignored them. She turned to leave. A sudden crack split the sky. Lightning. The mare spooked, rearing, and Tala lost her grip, tumbling hard onto the dust. The cowboy jumped down instantly, arms strong as he lifted her before the mare could bolt. His hands were warm, steady. Too steady. She pulled away. "Don't touch me." "You were falling," he replied evenly. "I wasn't taking anything from you." Storm clouds gathered like bruises above them. He looked up, then back at her. "There's a cave not half a mile from here. You'll be soaked in minutes." The rain began, sharp as needles. Tala hesitated but followed him toward the shelter. Inside, the cave was narrow, carved by centuries of water and wind. The cowboy removed his coat and placed it on the ground so she wouldn't have to sit on the cold stone. She sat anyway, refusing his gesture. He chuckled softly. "Stubborn," she glared. "You assume much for a man who wandered into Apache land." His eyes narrowed, the slightest bit, not in anger, but reminiscence. "My wife was Mescalero," he said quietly. "Lost her 2 winters ago." The confession stole the breath from the cave. Tala stared. She had not expected that kind of truth. "You lost someone too." He nodded once. "Still feels like yesterday." She looked away, her throat tight. Lightning flashed again, illuminating the hollow lines of his face. He wasn't young, but he wasn't old. Just a man with too many ghosts in his eyes. They sat in silence until he reached into his saddlebag and pulled out dried meat. He tore it in half and offered her a piece. She hesitated. He gently set it near her without forcing it. The rain softened. The fire he built flickered warm. Tala watched him as he tended it, careful, patient. A man like this did not match the stories of greedy, lawless cowboys who bargained with violence. He seemed different. Just as she began to relax, his voice broke the quiet. "When you first saw me, you thought I wanted something from you." She stiffened. He was right. She had misread him. She had judged him by the hat, the boots, the shadow. "Yes," she admitted. "Cowboys often want what they do not deserve." He leaned back against the cave wall. "I wanted something, all right," he said. Her stomach tightened. Then he added, "I wanted to make sure you didn't die out here." The word struck her harder than the fall from her horse. She looked up at him, really looked this time, and felt the first crack in the armor she had worn since losing her family. Emotions she hadn't allowed, in years pressed at the edges of her chest: pain, gratitude, fear. The rain slowed to a whisper. "Why?" she finally asked. His answer came soft as the dying storm. "Because no one saved my wife when she needed someone." The cave fell silent, and Tala felt the first hot tear slip down her cheek, surprising even herself as it touched the dusty stone at her feet.